Got a new Garmin for trips and just traveling in general, and this is the Garmin Nuvi 1530 LM, I think, lifetime maps, and it's also got a feature for traffic, so it's got a traffic feature too, but it's pretty standard like other Garmin's. I have a Garmin Nuvi 200, which I like, but the map was outdated. I didn't want to spend the $100 or whatever it took to update the maps, and this one I think was like $147 or something like that on Walmart.com. So I got it mainly because I had the lifetime maps, and I just want to review it to let you know things I liked about it and things I really don't care about it. But kind of the first thing I noticed is it's got these stupid ads that pop up, so I gotta go in the settings and see what the heck these ads are about. I don't like that at all. So that's the first thing I don't like. It's got the ubiquitous window mount there. It's pretty cool. It's nice and small, so as I travel I can put it in my bag without being too obtrusive. And I like to clip it to the left side of the steering wheel here, because I can reach it and hold on to the steering wheel with my right hand and operate it with my left hand. So it works pretty much really the same as any Garmin does. If you want to go somewhere, you can either you can hit where to, and you can either punch in the address. You can program where home is, punch home if you're away from home and you're trying to get home. And if you punch in an address recently, you can go hit recently found, and all the recently found places pop up. If you want places that you've designated as favorites, you can program those in. So anyway, if you want to punch in an address, you hit address, and it tells you I'm in Pennsylvania right now. So if I want to change the state, I can either change the state or keep the state, and then just go to spell city. So I'm not going to go through the functions too much. There's probably other stuff online, but I just want to show you the basics. So anyway, I'm gonna punch in I think it's in my favorites. Yeah. So I'm gonna go to my Holiday Inn. So you punch in the location you want, and then you hit go. So then it's gonna calculate. Usually it takes a little bit of time to calculate, but I've had it on for a couple of seconds.
Please drive to highlighted route.
So it talks to you. I like it because it has kind of a synthesized speech, so it tells you street names and stuff instead of just telling you to turn left or turn right like my old Nuvi 200 just had pre-installed speeches in it, and it just told you, turn left, turn right. It had numbers, but it didn't really tell you street names or anything. So this is kind of cool. All right, so here we go. Oh, what's nice too is it tells you when you should arrive at your destination. So it's 6:04 now.
Turn left on Freeport Road.
And it's telling me I should arrive at my destination at about 6:13 p.m. So that's kind of cool. If you're estimating how long it takes you to get somewhere, even though it's a route you've taken before, you can use it just to kind of get an idea of how long it takes you to get places. Pretty good graphics.
Continue 1.4 miles, then keep right on Pittsburgh Street.
The other nice thing is it gives you the posted speed limit, and I'll talk about that in a little bit later. And if you push the button where the speed that you're traveling is, let me go back. This button, this isn't really apparent a button, but if you push this little corner here, it takes you to some data that tells you this is how long you've traveled since you've reset the mileage. This is how many minutes and hours and minutes it takes you to get to where you're going. This is how many miles it takes to get to where you're going. So that's a good, if you drive a lot and you get paid for mileage, that's a good way to estimate or to account for how many miles you're driving. This tells you when to turn. Apparently in 1 minute it wants me to turn, or do something, keep right, keep left, and that's how many miles it wants you to turn in. And this little thing here is a speedometer, So it tells you how fast you're currently going in relation to the GPS tracking. So then you hit the little, see, my last Garmin had the word back, B-A-C-K, but here it's just got a little back arrow.
In 0.3 miles, keep right on Pittsburgh Street.
So I guess it's nice that it doesn't take as much room with the, the word back. It just tells you that you have to just know that little pictograph is to go back to the previous screen. So there, and so up here it tells you what to do.
In 3.1 miles, turn right on Alpha Drive East.
If you touch it, but it also it tells you you're going to turn, and it tells you how far you have to go until you turn. So that's a pretty handy little thing if you don't not familiar with where you are. You can look up at that, and then if you aren't familiar or don't understand what that sign is saying, again, you can touch it and it'll speak to you.
In 2.9 miles, turn right on Alpha Drive East.
So that's what I need to do. That's what that means. All right, I'm almost to my destination, and it's gonna tell me that you're gonna be arriving at your destination.
5.2 miles to Holiday in Pennsylvania.
Huh,
arriving at Holiday in Pennsylvania.
There it is. Usually it tells you left or right, but you get the idea. Now when you're done with your trip or you're done with the navigation, you know where you are. Sometimes I use this to get me out of places that I'm not really familiar with, but I know how to get home, or I know how to get to the destination. I just need to get close. What you can do is hit back, and then you hit the stop navigating button, which is stop. And it'll stop talking to you and telling you to take a U-turn or wherever. For the most part, the driving functions of the Nuvi 1350 LM are pretty cool. I like them. The speech is understandable, and you can make the volume loud enough. Here we give you a sample of the speech.
In 48 miles, keep right onto US 30 East.
So it has a feature where it actually reads to you, and for the most part the touchscreen works pretty well. If you don't have to move stuff around, it's okay. But when on my old Nuvi, you could touch on the screen while you're driving and it gives you an overlay map, and I don't know, I just don't like this new unit in that it kind of gives you useless information. Yeah, you're on this highway, but it doesn't give you a whole lot of information. So when you go to try to zoom out, it's very difficult to get it to do what you want it to do, and then this little thing pops up. So to get rid of it, you got to go back and then touch your screen again, and then it's gone. But then if you touch the screen, it comes back. So now I'm gonna zoom out. Oh, okay, it didn't come out, but yeah, there it goes. See, it's kind of too sensitive in one aspect, but not sensitive in another. So say now I want to zoom out to where I can see more of the geography. And see, that's another thing, it takes so long to load. My old one, just boom, it was there. As soon as you zoomed out, it zoomed out. See, and this one takes a while to kind of catch up with it. So I don't like that part. Another thing I'm kind of disappointed about is the traffic feature. Now on my phone, I have traffic notifications on the GPS on my phone. And so when I was shopping for a new GPS, I found that this one had traffic, so I was really kind of excited about it. But the problem is it really doesn't do anything for you. This little button right here kind of shows up, not all the time, but I guess when there's traffic or when there's roads that can be congested, this little green button comes up, and it's like yellow if there's a moderate delay, and it's red if it's a high delay. But beyond that, it really doesn't do anything for you. I mean, you can push the button and it takes you to this menu, and you can push, show traffic map, but duh, what does that mean? I mean, again, I'm a guy, so I didn't read the instructions. So anybody out there who who has read the instructions on this thing, let me know, because it's kind of pointless to me at this point. Okay, I think I kind of figured it out, the traffic thing. Alright, so you've got this little traffic warning thing, and you can see it's yellow now. It says there's a 2-minute delay. Well, what you got to do is you got to hit this and let it load up, and then see the traffic on the route. Well, that, you know, I don't know, I think it's kind of stupid you have to do that. I mean, obviously that's what you want to know, is where the traffic is. Well, the other stupid thing is when you see where the traffic is, you know, it's just a green line. What does that mean? So you have to read the little print at the top. It says reduce lanes 16 miles ahead. Okay, well, that's kind of cool. But we're, you know, depending on where you are, can you avoid it? Should you avoid it? You got a green line. I mean, to me, the green line means it's clear. So I guess I'm being nitpicky about the choice of color code here. Okay, here's that traffic delay that is still on the map, and you can see my little blue car is right smack dab in the middle of the delay. Well, let's see the delay. Nothing. So my aggravation is, how am I supposed to trust this thing to avoid this delay if it's not accurate? So 2 thumbs down for the traffic feature of this Garmin. So if you buy this Garmin, I don't know if it's any Garmin, but this one in particular, the 1530, don't rely on the traffic feature because it's inaccurate. That's all I got to say about that. Here's a classic example of the speed limit thing. It says 65 here on the Garmin is the posted speed limit, but I don't know if you can see it coming up here. But the speed limit is 55. So that's one of the other things you have to kind of keep an eye on, even though it is nice to kind of, if they're, you know, for lack of posted signs, you can maybe go by this, but if they have reduced the speed limit because of road construction or whatever, you have to be mindful of that, because I don't think a cop's going to really care what your GPS says. It's still your responsibility to keep an eye on the road and see what the posted signs are. I mean, what do we do before GPSs, right? So anyway, I mean, I still like the GPS. It helps me to get to where I am, but I think all the frills and stuff they put into it kind of slow it down. Here's my overview on the Nuvi 1350 LMT. Things I like about it, its size. It's a good, decent size. It's about this much bigger than my Nuvi 200, so I like the size. It's nice and big. I can get my fingers around and touch stuff and work the operations pretty decently. So that's the first thing I like about it. The free map updates, they're pretty handy. That's the reason why I bought it in the first place. I don't have to buy updated maps all the time. But I have had an instance where I went to punch in a restaurant and it took me to where the restaurant used to be. It didn't have the updated information yet. I had to use my phone to kind of bail myself out. But for general driving and stuff, it's not too bad. I like the free map updates. The speech recognition is pretty cool. Yeah, I like the speech, synthesized speech. That was cool. And the next thing I like is the price. It's a decent price, 147 bucks from Walmart.com. I think it was like 100. It's an extra $10 or $20 if you bought it in the store. But if you bought it online, you can have it delivered to the store for no extra charge. Now, the things I don't like about it are the bloatware. I mean, picture viewer, eco route, my data, You know, world clock is kind of cool. But you know, that's why I have a watch. If I really needed to, I got a phone that can tell me what time it is, calculator, all that stuff's usually on people's cell phones. So all the bloatware on here just kind of slows it down. So that's one of the things I don't like about this unit. The other thing are the ads. Apparently I can click on this and get Best Western rewards. I still haven't figured out how to get rid of it, so that kind of makes me mad that those are there. They're unsolicited ads, and I wish they'd just leave me alone and sell me what I want. The third thing I don't like is the touchscreen operation. Now, my old Garmin, you can navigate around pretty easy. If you wanted to check the route that it wants to send you to, you just click anywhere off the screen and it'll show you an overview map. But the problem is with the new one, it's hard to operate. See, I drag it down and then this stupid go button comes up, and it takes so long to load too. So if I want to zoom in or out, see how long it takes to load. My old Garmin loads a lot faster, and then if you push this go button, it just takes you to a different screen. You can't get rid of it once it's up, so I hate that. So the touchscreen operation and just general feel of it, I don't like the new operation as compared to my old one. And it could be just this unit, but I don't know. But I don't like this. The next thing I don't like is the traffic. The traffic feature was pretty much useless for me. You can see from the video that it told me there was traffic, but there was no traffic. So I find it hard to trust now. I'm going to give it another chance and see the next time that it tells me that there's traffic. I'll give it a chance to amend itself, but right now I don't have a whole lot of faith in it. The last thing I kind of don't like about it is the time estimate. Now, it's okay if you're going, say, 15-20 minutes or maybe even up to an hour away from somewhere. It's pretty accurate. But if you're going any further than 100 or 150, maybe 200 miles, you might want to add 10 minutes per 100 miles to the original estimated time to give you a more accurate estimate of when you're going to get to your destination. And of course it does update when you pull over for rest stops and stuff like that, but I found it not very accurate in my last trip that was over 200 miles. It ended up probably about 20 minutes or 30 minutes over what it originally projected, and I didn't stop, and there were very, very few delays, and there were a few times where I drove significantly less than the posted speed limit that it had in the posted in the machine here. So those are my likes and dislikes and my overview of the Garmin Nuvi 1350 LMT. Take it or leave it. See you later.